What up, New York Giant Nation, and welcome back to another edition of After Further Review. This is with your boy Mac the Giants fan, man. Look, man, Sunday night football in the books, man. 14-9, the Buffalo Bills get the W in a game in which the New York Giants led the way for most of the game. Unfortunately, they could not close the deal, man. And at the end of the day, man, it's more problematic because the defense played its absolute, without a shadow of a doubt, best game of the season against a very high-powered Buffalo Bills offense. This defense went out there and balled out. Yes, I use the word balled out because the defense did indeed ball out, man. I mean, Bobby Okereke flying all over the field, Micah McFadden. I mean, Xavier McKinney went out there and had a nice night. You know what I mean? And he's been up and down this season, with some of his play and some of his lack thereof plays being made. But at the end of the day, I mean, this defense went out there and really, put on a show for the New York Giant faithful, man. And this offense, once again, just can't seem to get it done. And it's frustrating because all I'm hearing most of the day is, oh, it was so much better with Tyrod Taylor. It was so much better. It was so much this. It was so much that. 24-36, 200 yards, 5.6 yards average a pass, no touchdowns. Look, that's not so much better. That's just the same. Now, granted, the big difference is one gets paid peanuts and the other one gets paid like a franchise quarterback. Now that's the huge glaring difference, But other than that, I don't want to hear about how much better Tyrod Taylor was. He was better at certain things, yes, sure. He moves around better in the pocket. He went out there and improved that immensely. And sure, he took a couple of deep shots down the field that Daniel Jones seems to be very reluctant to do. Come on, man. The numbers don't tell me that, oh, Tyrod Taylor was just so much better. No. The numbers don't back that statement up. The numbers don't back that statement up. They just don't. That's just a fact. He does do some things better than Daniel Jones, but at the end of the day, both of these guys seem to be the same guy, which, to me, sums it up to the New York Giants issue is they don't have a starting quarterback. They just have a couple of backup quarterbacks. And that's the problem because one is getting paid very much like a starter and the other one is just the backup, which is why I almost wouldn't even have a problem moving forward with Tyrod Taylor the rest of the way, regardless of Daniel Jones' health, because I've seen what I need to see from Daniel Jones regardless anyway. I mean, I'm not sitting here trying to defend Daniel Jones. I'm just saying the people that keep sitting here talking about what Tyrod Taylor did this and Tyrod Taylor did that and he was so much better. No, people, that's not the numbers just don't support those statements, man. The offensive line went out there. They played their best game of the season, but it still wasn't good. And you got people talking about, oh, Tyrod Taylor made them play better. They look better because of Tyrod Taylor. No. I don't buy that. I'm an offensive lineman. I'm a big fat guy. I played O-line. I got a lot of O-line experience. I understand offensive line play. The offensive line played better last night. Not good, but better. And that's a fact. It wasn't necessarily anything special Tyrod Taylor was doing. They weren't allowing that immediate pressure that they've been allowing all season long. That's a fact, people. That's a fact. Like I said, they weren't good, but they were better, and it was definitely their best performance of the season. What they did was prove that as long as they played even at least at that level, a really, really good quarterback, a great quarterback, one of the great quarterbacks of the league, like, the Josh Allens and the Joe Burrows and the Justin Herberts, that those guys would be able to work behind that and make something at least happen. That's what they showed me last night. That as long as they could play up to that level. But the prior 5 weeks, they weren't playing up to that level. The prior 5 weeks, it was just like the ball gets snapped and pressure from everywhere immediately. So there was a difference last night, and I don't want to hear about, it was what Tyrod Taylor was doing, because it wasn't, people. It wasn't. He does slide around in the pocket and move around better. Get all of that. But he wasn't getting that. It wasn't that same just full on, all out pressure as soon as the ball was snapped. It just wasn't. So let's just move off of that, man, like a little bit, and understand that at the end of the day, what Tyrod Taylor proved to me was that he's just the same type of, that him and Daniel Jones are a lot more close to equal than anything else. They're just two guys that are backup quarterbacks in the NFL, essentially, except one gets paid like a starting quarterback and one gets paid like truly like the backup that he is. But they're the same guy, and that's a problem. That's a problem. That's a New York Giant problem. But this offense, like I said, there's problems all over the place, man. Once again, playmakers got to make plays too, man. Like I get that was a great defensive play on Darius Slayton down that sideline on that fourth down. But the great players, man, they make those plays for their quarterback, man. Tyrod put a beautiful ball up there. And he put it pretty much where Slayton could make a play on that, where he could make a play on it. And you know what? Sometimes you just got to be bigger, stronger, and you got to have more determination and will to make that play, man. That's what the great receivers do. Great receivers come down with that ball. They just do. Look, I'm not going to beat up on Tyrod. He played admirable. He definitely did. I don't want anybody to misconstrue my statements. He played admirable in his role against a very good defense, against a very good team in the Buffalo Bills. But at the end of the day, 3 field goals is all it amounted to. 3 field goals. There's no touchdowns to be had last night. There were no touchdowns to be seen last night. No touchdowns put up on the board. No touchdown drives led by Tyrod Taylor last night. That's just a fact. Whether you people want to look, admit it or not, I think the biggest difference right now is just the pay with these guys. Other than that, we got 2 guys that are basically one and the same. They can do, each of them can do some things better than the other, and vice versa. It goes both ways. Honestly, you want my very honest opinion, and you can feel any way you want about this, and I'm going to put it right out there. What happened at the end of the first half, I don't think that would have happened with Daniel Jones. I don't think he would have made that kind of an audible to that play in that situation. That's just one thing I think he brings to the table that Tyrod Taylor goofed on. I don't think Daniel Jones makes that call. I think Daniel Jones at least understands the situation a little bit better and understands that with 14 seconds and no timeouts, I can't audible to a fucking run play. You just can't do it. You just can't do it. And I don't care about Tyrod Taylor being a backup quarterback and this, that, and the other. We can't make excuses for Daniel Jones. We can't make excuses for him. He's a veteran in this league. He has to know better. In that situation, with 14 seconds, no timeouts, and at that point in the game, a running game that had been doing absolutely nothing, you can't make that. You can't audible to that play. You got to take a couple shots into the end zone. If you don't come down with anything, at least you salvage the time, and you kick the damn 3 field goal and go out to halftime up 9-0 at the very least. So that's not a mistake. I honestly don't think that's a mistake Daniel Jones would have made. That's one thing where we say things they do better than each one do better than the other. Okay. Like I said, I've acknowledged that Tyrod Taylor definitely moves around in the pocket, manipulates the pocket a lot better than Daniel Jones. He definitely proved that last night. And like I said, not scared to take those deep shots that Jones is so reluctant to, which is weird that Jones is so reluctant to because Daniel Jones throws a nice deep ball. He throws a nice deep ball, but he doesn't do it nearly enough. And that's an issue I have with Daniel Jones. That's my big issue. One of the big issues I have with this kid. I shouldn't even call him a kid. He's a 5-year vet now. So yeah, it's just ridiculous. I'm done. I'm tired of it. You gotta at least give the team a chance, man. So that's one thing that, like I said, I can appreciate from Tyrod Taylor last night for sure. Is at least take some of them shots down the field. Sometimes it works out where you get the penalties, man. You get the calls. I mean, you see what happened late in that game. We got that pass interference call in the end zone, put us right on the 1 yard line with a chance for a walk-off score to win the game. Now, what happened after that, once again, is just crazy to me. I don't really understand. Like, I know some people were trying to defend the play call, wasn't a bad play call. To me, you limited yourself with that play call. You limited yourself. And that's a situation where I go back to Tennessee week 1 in 2022 season, man. 26 is your best guy. He's your best guy. You got to somehow, even if you don't turn around and just flat out hand the ball off to him, you make them think that maybe he's an option. You make them think about worrying about Saquon Barkley on that play. You just limited your options so much there. And granted, we can talk about how it was an egregious pass interference that should have been called. Come on, you can't seriously think they were going to call that back to back. You just can't. And you can't rely on that. But at the end of the day, man, who I feel bad for out the last night the most is the defensive unit, man. Because the defensive unit came out there and played a great game. For the first time this season, they played 4 quarters of great football. They won the turnover battle once again. This time they did not allow 500 yards while winning the turnover battle. They did everything you needed to do to win this football game. They held the Buffalo Bills offense to 14 points, which should be more than enough to win this football game. You hold the Buffalo Bills to 14 points, and the offense can only seem to manage score 9. Come on, man. Save it, man. New York Giants quarterback is most definitely a huge issue. Offense, period, is an issue. Because I'm not going to pile on the quarterbacks. I'm not going to make it seem like it's all on the quarterbacks, because it's not all on Jones. It's not all on Tyrod. There's a lot of other issues with this football team. Like I said, the O-line played better, but it still didn't play great. It wasn't like it was. I wouldn't call what they did last night was a good performance. It just was better performance than what they've shown all season long. The skill position players, same thing, man. They're not making nearly enough plays. You got to come down with those 50-50 sometimes, man. You got to figure out a way to make things happen. You got to make plays for your quarterback the way like A.J. Brown makes plays for Jalen Hurts, the way Keenan McCardell makes plays for makes plays for Justin Herbert. Did I say? You know what I meant. Whatever. But you know what I meant. You got to go out there and make plays. They got to go out there and make plays, man. And it's just not happening, man, with this football team right now, man. They're just not getting it done. And anyway, I met Keenan Allen. I don't know why I said Keenan McCardell. I don't know why, but Keenan Allen. That's who I meant. You got to go. You got to go out there and make plays, man. You got to go out there and you got to get it done, and that's what those guys do. That's why those guys they call them dogs, because they go out there and they get it done, man. They get it done no matter what. No matter what, they're going to make that play for their guys, man, and it's not enough of that going on in New York here, man. It's the problem. The whole offense is a problem. Not just the quarterback, not just the line. The whole entire offense is a problem. And it's like until somebody wants to step up, I don't know what to say, man. Are we going to continue to be able to get defensive performances like this? If the offense keeps playing the way they are, I'm not sure. I'm not convinced. If the defense doesn't just dial it in after a while, because This offense just can't get out of its own way. Can't get. I mean, you had two opportunities at the end of each half, the end of the first half and at the end of the game, from the 1 yard line. The 1 yard line. And you can't figure out a way to get that ball in the end zone. It has been the equivalent of 3 whole games since this New York Giant offense has scored a touchdown. What? That's terrible. That is just terrible, terrible football. And as good as the defense played last night, we still found a way to lose this football game. But like I said, I can't put it on them. Not last night. Last night's 1,000% on the offense. The offensive unit is what let us down once again. 9 points. In a game in which, overall, for the most part, the New York Giants dominated most of this football game. But fourth quarter, when it was time, the Buffalo Bills did what they had to do, and it was good enough to get the W. 14 points is all it took to beat the New York Giants. That's an indictment on the offense. And not just the quarterback. It's an indictment on the entire offense. Because the quarterback's not running out there alone. It's an indictment on the whole offense. 2 opportunities from the 1 yard line. Come on, man. You just got to figure it out. It's embarrassing. With that being said, I can say this team did show a lot more fight than it has all season. That I did respect. But I'm not here for moral victories. I want to see real victories, actual wins. So, another one in the books, New York Giants. 1-5. We got a tough Washington Commanders team coming to MetLife next Saturday afternoon. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, if we get an effort like we got tonight, I guess we have a chance, right? But if the offense is going to be just satisfied kicking a few field goals, well, we know how far that's going to get us. But thanks for tuning in, man. Definitely like, subscribe, all the good stuff, man. Support the channel. I really appreciate it, man. I love all the support you guys been giving me lately. Channel's starting to really grow, and I'm really, really appreciating the support from everybody out there, man. I definitely do, man. Make sure y'all go out there, support breast cancer awareness month of October. Them pink ribbons out, man. You know, do what you can. Support the movement. It's your boy Mac the Giants fan, man. Peace. I'd like to thank you all for listening. If you was feeling this, please take time to subscribe and smack them likes. Feel free to drop a comment and let me know what you think. Don't forget to ring that bell so you know when I'm dropping new content. It's your boy, Mac the Giants fan. You can find me on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook at Mac the Giants fan. That's MACDA Giants fan.